Umalusi was founded by two Acts of Parliament, namely the General and Further Education and Training Quality Assurance Act 2001, Act number 58 of 2001, as amended in 2008, and the National Qualifications Framework Act 2008, Act number 67 of 2008. In terms of Section 17A(6) of the Genfequa Act, Umalusi is mandated to issue certificates for qualifications at exit points in general and further education and training. Umalusi is further mandated to ensure that the certificates it issues are credible both nationally and internationally. The purpose of this video is to explain Umalusi's certification procedure. Sharing this information forms part of Umalusi's commitment to making our process fair and transparent. What is certification? Certification is the formal recognition of a completed qualification or part qualification awarded to a successful candidate who has been assessed by an accredited assessment body, the Department of Basic Education, DBE, the Department of Higher Education and Training, DHET, the Independent Examinations Board, IEB, the South African Comprehensive Assessment Institute, SAKAI, and Benchmark Assessment Agency, BAA. Certification is conducted according to the requirements of an approved qualification and its curricula. In order to issue certificates, Umalusi maintains the capacity to develop and maintain policies and directives for certification, maintain acceptable quality assurance standards for awarding certificates, maintain an acceptable data bank and follow acknowledged recording and reporting procedures, maintain a certification system and infrastructure including appropriate security arrangements, issue certificates to qualifying candidates, verify certificates, and issue replacement certificates. Umalusi certification responsibility. Umalusi is responsible for all certificates issued since November 1992 by the former South African Certification Council, SAFCED, 1992 to 2001, and the Council for Quality Assurance in General and Further Education and Training, Umalusi, 2001 to current. Certification process. The process of certifying the November results takes place in the new year after the completion of the remarking and rechecking processes. At that point, the results are finalized by the respective assessment bodies and sent to Umalusi for certification. The bulk certification traditionally takes place in the April and May of each year. Candidates are registered by assessment bodies for writing of examinations. Assessment bodies are responsible for managing, administering, and conducting national examinations. Umalusi monitors the examination process to ensure that the integrity of examinations is not compromised and irregularities are reported and investigated. Assessment bodies submit results to Umalusi for standardization and resulting. Umalusi check and verify the standardization and results of all learners. Umalusi approves the results for release. The Minister of Basic Education releases the National Senior Certificate results, and other assessment bodies release their own candidates' results for other qualifications. Candidates receive copies of their statement of results issued by their respective assessment bodies. Candidates who qualify for supplementary examinations write the examination through their respective assessment body. Candidates apply for remark and rechecking of scripts. Assessment bodies submit the candidate's result for certification in a format prescribed by Umalusi. Umalusi quality assures candidates' result before certifying the results. Certificates are printed and sent to assessment bodies for distribution. Candidates collect their certificates at their respective education institutions. On collection of their certificates, candidate must thoroughly check for possible errors on their certificates. Candidates should verify correctness of personal particulars and results reflected on their certificate. Certificate printed with error must be returned to the assessment body for correction. Umalusi issues the following certificates for qualification registered on the General and Further Education and Training Qualifications Sub-Framework NQF Levels 1 to 4. Senior Certificate, Report 550. National Senior Certificate, NSC. National N3 Certificate, Report 191 and 190. National Certificate Vocational, NCV. General Education and Training Certificate, GETC. Subject statements certificates are issued for all the above qualifications where candidates do not qualify for a certificate. Qualifications that are offered by the different assessment bodies. Senior Certificate, phasing out in 2020. The Department of Basic Education, DBE. Independent Examinations Board, IEB. National Senior Certificate. The Department of Basic Education, DBE. Independent Examinations Board, IEB. South African Comprehensive Assessment Institute, Sakai. National Certificate, Vocational. The Department of Higher Education and Training, DHET. National N3 Certificate. The Department of Higher Education and Training, DHET. General Education and Training Certificate. The Department of Higher Education and Training, DHET. Independent Examinations Board, IEB. Benchmark Assessment Agency, BAA. What happens should a candidate lose their certificate? Can they be reissued with a replacement certificate, or generally referred to as a duplicate certificate? A replacement or duplicate certificate can be issued if the original certificate has been lost and could not be traced by the certificate holder, or the certificate has been damaged. The following documentation is required. 1. The certificate holder should prepare a detailed affidavit signed by the holder of the certificate and by the Commissioner of Oaths, stating what happened to the certificate. 2. The application form and the affidavit should be submitted to the assessment body. 3. A certification fee is payable to the assessment body. 4. The assessment body must request the replacement certificate from Umalusi. What happens if it is discovered that personal information on an issued certificate is not correct? Reissue of a certificate already issued can be requested from Umalusi to correct the personal information. Umalusi will assess each request for changes to previously issued certificates in respect of completeness for all requirements according to the policy for the reissue of certificates. Reissue will be considered by Umalusi based on one of the following reasons. 1. Reissues due to administrative errors, spelling or typing errors, mark adjustments. 2. Reissues due to legal changes affected on the National Population Register due to voluntary changes by the candidate in terms of a gender change or change of name and surname. 3. Corrections on National Population Register resulting in changed names, ID numbers, and date of birth. Please note, it is important to ensure that all the requirements as prescribed in the reissue policy are met before submitting the application to Umalusi. The assessment body should assist candidates in this regard. Umalusi reserves the right to request additional information and/or to verify the supporting documentation provided as evidence for the reissue of a certificate. Rejected applications for reissue may be taken on appeal. The reissue appeals procedure takes note that the appeal process may take longer than anticipated, depending on the nature of the case. A follow-up can be made with Umalusi by the relevant assessment body. Candidates who want to appeal the decision taken by the Internal Certification Committee, ICC, can do so through the Department of Education or assessment body. The candidate must indicate the reasons for his or her appeal. The decision of the appeal committee will be communicated to the candidate through the Department of Education or assessment body. About certification fees. Private assessment bodies, IEB, Sakai, and BAA, and private technical and vocational training, TVET colleges, are required to pay for certificates. Certifications fee are revised annually.